All right, good evening to all of our Arkansas, Missouri, and Oklahoma viewers. Hopefully you've had a great day today. And let's get a look at your forecast for the remainder of tonight into tomorrow. Now, overnight tonight, not a whole lot of changes to the forecast. Simply put, it's just going to be that time of the year where, the forecast updates. Now, make sure you tune into them because they're not going to be boring. We've got several things to talk about throughout the summer, but the forecast details, it's not going to be as tricky as it is in the spring where you have the systems that are moving through. At least it's going to be consistently warm going forward. So Mother Nature and summer here to stay, and we're going to be here to get you through summer and all the heat that we've got on the way. So overnight tonight, right around the lower to the mid 70s for a large portion of eastern Oklahoma, southwest Missouri, and northwest Arkansas. But further to the west into Oklahoma and further to the south in Arkansas, that's where we're going to be into the upper 70s. Now there will also be a couple of upper 70s in parts of southwest Missouri as well. Simply put, it's going to be similar to the last several mornings, so another warm and humid start to the day. So we make our way into tomorrow afternoon. There was a little bit of an adjustment to some of the temperatures. Fayetteville, we knocked that down to around 91 instead of 92. It's not a big difference, but, it's still going to feel warm regardless of whether it's 91 or 92. Right around the lower to the mid-90s pretty much for northwest Arkansas, Oklahoma, southwest Missouri. Upper 90s the further south you go, and along I-40 into the south of there, we're talking upper 90s, maybe closer to some triple digits. So it's going to be warm and humid once again tomorrow with the mostly sunny skies. And so, pretty copy-paste forecast. Simply put, it's going to be warm. We've got additional heat advisories to get to as well here in a minute. It's not going to be for everyone, but regardless if you're in a heat advisory or not, just take it easy out there, especially if you're a construction worker, outdoor, physical labor, working out, anything along those lines. You're going to want to take it easy, stay hydrated, take breaks in the shade. And also for pet owners too, when you're talking highs this warm and then you factor in the heat with the humidity and all of that, it's going to be way too warm to walk your dogs in the afternoon, especially when it comes to surface temperatures, because it's going to be too dangerous for their paw pads. They're not indestructible. They can burn pretty easy. So wait to walk the pets later into the evening, earlier in the morning. That's the rule of thumb we got there. Foghorns morning fog outlook, and we just want to bring this to your attention. We don't really have any sort of fog availability overnight tonight to tomorrow. The ingredients just aren't there. That's going to be normal for this time of year because it's just going to be warm and humid out there. But we do want to bring attention to Foghorns, sponsoring the channel. We're so grateful to have them as a sponsor on our channel. Support them like they support us. Check them out. They have a location in Springdale and in Fayetteville. And give them some support like they support us here on the channel. Grateful to have them. An Arkansas original since 2004. Huge shout out to them. Here's a look at what we got in terms of the alerts for the remainder of today. And it's going to continue for at least the next couple of hours for this evening update. And then tomorrow, it's going to be the exact same. So even though the banner says Tuesday, we're just showing you right around 9 o'clock is when this is going to finally conclude. The map isn't showing it, but it does include Fort Smith. For whatever reason, the softwares are not connecting to the Weather Service things. This is just out of our control. And so we're just going to show you where that is. So this is the alert for the remainder today until 9 o'clock. So by the time you're probably seeing this update, probably not there anymore. But I do want to bring your attention. It's going to be the exact same thing tomorrow in terms of the heat advisories. Same with the River Valley, areas that you see here. Nothing in eastern Oklahoma, nothing in northwest Arkansas. More alerts in southwest Missouri. We're just going to keep this going. We're in an orange tie today because, it matches with the orange alerts that we have for the heat. So keep that in mind. Tomorrow, the exact same thing is what we have for the remainder of this afternoon into this evening. And then here's a look at what we got for the 4th of July forecast. Now, there was a little bit of a change to the forecast, and this is why we tell you to tune in throughout the day and throughout the week. It's one of those things where, it's great to have the views and everything. We want your views, obviously, but we tell you to tune into all of these updates throughout the week, throughout the day, because forecasting, it's not something that you just do once, you leave it overnight, and then it's the same thing tomorrow morning. It's one of those things where it may not sound all that important, but you have to update these multiple times a day, even if it's extended, because the models change, the forecast changes. And believe me, several days out from Saturday, this is probably going to change again. Right around the lower to the mid 90s for parts of the area, upper 90s elsewhere. And then as we make our way into the extended outlook, one thing that I'm not personally liking, and this isn't anything scary, this is just at a preference temperature-wise, I'm not really liking that the starting to get into the well above average category is starting to shift its way further and further to the east. Now, that's not to say that it is going to make its way into our area. I'm not really liking that easterly shift. Right now, we are into the slightly to moderately above average temperature range, not into the above to well above range, but that area is starting to make its way a little bit further to the east every update that we do here. So keeping an eye on those temperatures. Summer heat is here to stay, and it's one of those things where I know, some of you may be thinking, oh, it's summer. Obviously, it's going to be hot, right? It's not going to be that manageable dry heat. We're going to have some issues with the heat and the humidity. And that means that it's going to be one thing with the air temperature and the actual wet bulb globe temperature or the heat index values, whichever you want to use, it's going to be a lot higher than the air temperature. So it's going to feel a little bit warmer, and it's also going to lead to maybe some more heat impacts in terms of how you're able to cool yourself outside. Here's a look at what we got for the extended precipitation outlook. Now, there really isn't any change to this. We're still keeping the above average precipitation going as we make our way into the next 6 to 10 days. The temperature range that we just showed you, that's also for the next 6 to 10 days. So we're going to keep maybe some rain opportunities as well. It's not terrible to have those rain opportunities. I know we're kind of sick of it because we had a lot of activity over the last several weeks. But, I mean, we could still use the rain in some locations because, before you know it, it's going to be that part where we start getting later into the year and we may start talking about drought conditions again and so on and so forth. So, you will enjoy the rain while we get it at least. And so it doesn't guarantee it's going to be, a month of daily rain chances, anything along those lines. It just means that some rain opportunities will be once again available. Here's a look at your 7-day forecast. And not a whole lot of changes to the forecast except some of those rain chances. And we've mentioned this before in all the updates the last couple of days is because I want you to tune in as we get closer to 4th of July weekend. We did bump up precipitation chances from 10 to 20%. You might be thinking, well, is that a big deal? Not really. I think there's going to be an opportunity both Saturday and Sunday for some pop-up showers and thunderstorms. It's going to be isolated, nothing widespread. But this is why we say tune in, because the forecasts are evolving. Notice once we get into some of these other 7-day forecasts, temperatures are also changing a little bit as we get closer to the weekend. Still into the mid to upper 90s for portions of the River Valley. And the rain chances, they're looking a little bit better Monday compared to Sunday as it was looking with some of the latest outlooks. So right now, not a big jump in any sort of precipitation chances, but a little bit of an adjustment so far. And you can see same with northeast Oklahoma. We did knock down the temperatures a little bit, and this is, like we said, the further out you get, it's a little bit more uncertain. Latest trends still into the upper 90s. I still think some triple-digit heat looks possible in parts of the coverage area for Saturday. Not everyone, but it will be there. And then as we make our way into southwest Missouri, the rain chances, and we tell you all these changes for transparency. I want you to be involved with the forecast, and this is why we tell you tune into the updates, because I may show you a 7-day forecast today and we may be talking about Tuesday. Look at how far out that is. And then by the time we get to Saturday, Sunday, that forecast has changed dramatically. And this is why we say tune in, because forecasts evolve. And so right now, rain chances bumped some of them down back to about 30% with the latest outlooks. Keep in mind, things may change. So, this is why we say tune in. We're not expecting any sort of, significant widespread rainfall at the moment, anything along those lines. But if you got weekend plans, you may want to tune in, especially if you're planning to go camping or anything like that, because if there is a potential for some pop-up showers and storms, we want you to at least be mindful. Yeah, there could be some lightning with that isolated activity. So that's a look at what we got there. Thank you so much for tuning in. Again, we've been mentioning this. If you want to financially support us, help keep our operations funded and running, we have a couple different options. We've got Venmo and we've got Patreon. You can choose the amount, the frequency. That's entirely up to you. It's not like you have to go and look at one specific thing and that's the only option. We're leaving it up to you. Anything helps, and we appreciate all of your support, whether it's financial or whether it's, sharing our posts with your friends and family and letting them know, hey, I like these updates. Give them give them a look, all that type of stuff. We appreciate all of that. The other thing is, we're looking to partner with local businesses, and we've mentioned this time and time again. We want to partner with businesses that are local to the regions that we cover. If you visit our website, you may notice there's no pop-up ads that the minute you get on the website, it just bombards you. And we turn off those features. We could easily make a lot of money putting those on, but personally, I would much rather support the businesses that are local to this region than have some random, you don't even know where it's from, what it is type advertisement that pops up on the website. So we're looking to partner with some businesses It'll help support us. We can also help support you, get your outreach out there. We have numerous advertising opportunities. We'd love to hear from you. Our contact information is available here. Regardless, thank you so much for tuning in. Thank you so much for tuning into all these segments. We really appreciate all of your support, whether financial or by just simply tuning in. We appreciate every single one of you. So thank you so much for tuning in. Have a good one. There's that, and we have a little TVS there, Tornado Vortex signature, and that's indicative of some fairly strong rotation. With the latest state-of-the-art equipment, we can call out areas of concern ahead of the warning. And there it is. We called it here first, y'all, and we are able to show you these things in real time, and our tools, you can't beat them. We're able to show you these things as they happen before the warning even occurs. This is coverage you won't find anywhere else. Weather coverage with Joshua Weisel in the Weather 225 Storm Studios. Weather local to you since 2015. If you like our media and forecast, be sure to support us today on Patreon. You can advertise with us this storm season and throughout the year. Contact us today for availability and pricing. Weather 225 since 2015.